of Crown Royal IROC 28. 12 IROC racers sit at the ready on the front straightaway, and here's how the points look. There's the top half dozen. Any one of those names could find themselves on that $1 million check just 100 miles from now. Let's go down to the starting grid and Matt Yoakum.
Mike, the guy everybody will be chasing in the championship standings, actually will start at the back of the field, and that's point leader Ryan Newman. Close to $1 million with this aero package. Ryan, what should we expect to see today as you try to make your charge from the back to the front?
I think the cars are going to be really drafty. I think you have to see cars get pushing each other down the straightaways to be able to get by each other in the corners, and the tires are going to fall off at the end of a run. So when the cars running that close together, it's going to be difficult to stay together. And we're going to do our best, or I'm going to do my best, I should say, to just try to take her to the front.
The championship scenario is simple. If he wins the race, he wins the $1 million. Now, let's go to Speed's Bob Dillner.
Well, Matt, a little bit more of a complicated situation for two of these guys right here. Kurt Busch, 5th in points, and Jimmy Johnson, 3rd in points, battling for the championship. He's got to have Ryan Newman finish 3rd or worse if he wins, or at least 2 spots behind him if he finishes someplace else. So the question is, Jimmy, how bad do you want the $1 million?
I want the $1 million and the honors of being an IROC champion. I had the pleasure of winning one last year. I hope that I can win this final one this year. It's been a lot of fun. It's great to hang out with all my friends and make new friends from other series. And with the money on the line and the everything that goes with it, I hope that I can do it. And I think Matt Kitts showed me in Richmond that you can move a long way in the points. So we're just going to go out there and try to get some bonus points, try to win the race, and see what happens. See where Ryan finishes from there.
Well, here's a guy that knows a thing or two about winning an IROC championship because he's done it before. But can you even think championship, or can you just think win today?
All what I have to do, it's plain and simple, is take the Crown Royal purple car to the front, lead most laps and win, and then ask for help. I can't have Newman finish up there to gain any bonus points, as well as Kenseth and Johnson. And I've just gotten a hole after Texas. I had a bad race there, but we finished well at Richmond, and it just takes that one bad race to shake you up a little bit. And now it comes down to bonus points. We've got to gain those bonus points, and this race is fun. Atlanta's a great racetrack to bring this series to, and to finish off the year here at Atlanta it's been a lot of fun, and Crown Royal's done a tremendous job bringing this series up to the status that it is.
Guys, this whole scenario pretty complicated, but we can't wait to get this one kick-started.
Thanks, Bob. All these freshly suited drivers have just come from out of the motor coach lot, save one. Matt Kenseth has just left victory lane. He was the winner of today's NASCAR Busch Series Aaron's 312. There he is with wife Katie, hustling off to change and to get ready to go and turn his attention to this event. There are so many possibilities for who could take down the $1 million. You need a calculator and a computer, and we need sports media to help keep track of them all. Throughout the race, we'll have points as of now, and those points will change with just about every change of position. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Joy, joined by Larry McReynolds and Jeff Hammond. And who's doing the math? Larry, I guess that's you. There's a lot of ways a driver can improve his fate during the running of this race, not just at the end.
Well, you saw the standings. We have 4 drivers that are within 7 points, 6 drivers within 13 points, and 7 mathematically has a shot. The one thing I picked up on all the driver interviews we just listened to, they're all thinking about bonus points. Besides the points you get for where you finish at the end of the race, if you lead the most laps, you'll get 5 bonus points. If you lead the second most laps, 3, down to the third most laps, you'll get 2. And in that competition yell at lap 45, positions 1 through 3 will get 3, 2, 1 bonus points. So lead the most laps, lead lap 45. That's 8 bonus points with as many drivers that has a shot at winning that. That could be very crucial to who gets that $1 million.
They're going to burn out a few calculators trying to work this one through today. Now, Jeff, no matter whether you're in an Indy car or a stock car of any type, this is a track that demands full attention. It's one of the fastest on any of those circuits. What do these drivers face today?
Mike, the one thing is going to be total focus. To get around this racetrack, it's an extremely fast racetrack. It's not exactly like Daytona, because we will be doing some drafting, but being a 1.5 mile racetrack, it's not like Texas where Daniel Osowski won early this year. Daniel will tell you right quick, Texas is a one-groove racetrack. Here at Atlanta, you can run high, you can run low, you can run all over the racetrack, and you're going to need some help working your way to the front. A lot of these guys already understand it's going to be a combination of getting your car to work well picking out the right partner, and being able to make your way up through the pack. I look for a really exciting race, and for a lot of these guys, it's going to be one of those kind of like an unknown situation, because one other thing they didn't get a chance to experience during all the testing is a racetrack with this much rubber on it, because the Busch race just concluded, and it's going to be a whole different racetrack than they've seen all week long.
As soon as the drivers are introduced to the fans here in Atlanta, we'll be ready to race. But first, the flags here stand at half-mast, and heavy hearts fill the racing garages, as our thoughts and prayers are of those lost in last Sunday's air crash and with those who loved them and missed them. It's been a long-standing tradition in this sport that we return to the racetrack to heal.
Earlier, but the guy kind of kicked it all off at Daytona, and leading the points, Ryan Newman.
There's Newman outside the 6th row, having to rocket through the field, and going to the back, Scott Dixon. Dixon was practicing for the Grand Am race in Fontana, California, was unable to get here in time for practice, so according to IROC rules, he must go to the rear on the start. 65 laps, 100 miles, $1 million in the balance.
$1 million to win, finish second, $80,000, third, $80,000, fourth, $80,000. You get my point. Everybody wants to win this championship.
The pace car's off, guys. Getting ready to find out who is going to be the champion this year.
Green flag.
Look like a nice clean start as they go up through the gearbox. And you can bet those guys at the back, like Matt Kenseth, Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, they want to make their move early. And the draft plays a role here. They're 3 wide over in turn 2.
And it's Kinzer to the front. The inside line move as the front row shuffled high entering the corner. King Kinzer of the World of Outlaws with the lead.
And Mike, these drivers told Jeff and I at the drivers meeting, you do not want to run side by side because those guys up front will get away from you.
Ryan Newman, rush hour traffic. Jimmy Johnson just ahead.
He's already bump drafting right now. He just got by Yaley trying to make his way to the front. But Ryan Newman has made a pretty good jump all the way from basically dead last. He's up to 6th.
And speaking of a jump, how about Kurt Busch in a 97 car? He's already up to 2nd place.
Kinzer surrenders the lead as Busch, with some drafting help, gets to the front.
See Scott Sharp in that 8 car pushing up through the field.
Harvick without the draft fades.
He has no help on the outside right now. He's trying to get down to the bottom behind these guys.
Scott Sharp with Jimmy Johnson in tow. Now Johnson looks even lower. Whoa, just barely tucked back up in there.
You do not want to drop those left side wheels below that white line because it's different transition. It'll shoot you back up the racetrack.
One car almost got shot up into the fence in turn 2 as everybody carried up high in the middle of the corner. That was Yaley.
And Mike, these guys are carrying so much speed. If you hear the RPMs, they never lift around this 1.5-mile racetrack. And you carry so much speed off turn 2 and off 4, the car will want to push up into the wall.
First 3 single file with Harvick 3rd, then it's Sharp side by side. On the inside for 4th place, Jimmy Johnson now has Newman to help around the outside. And Kenseth coming.
I was watching Scott Sharp off of turn 4. He kind of pinched his car down off the corner, bounded up, and Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Newman both got a real good running. Were able to make the pass down the front straight over him. But he's not rolled over and playing dead by any imagination right now.
On the bottom, Sharp, number 8, Castroneves, with the Dayglow stripes right behind him, trying to hold even with the NASCAR crowd.
Now Kevin Harvick in the 29 car, he moved to the high side. Ryan Newman in that 12 car, our leader in points, he's up to 4th position. And that's in 4 laps from 12th.
And he gave Jimmy Johnson a real shot on the straightaway leading to turn 1. And it helped Johnson. It didn't help Newman.
Look at him, 3 wide into turn 3. But that's the great thing about this racetrack. You can run on the bottom, you can run in the middle, or right up against the wall you can run.
That is half the field under a blanket right there.
And the whole field is less than a 1.5 seconds separating each other.
Busch the leader, Kinzer 2nd, Johnson 3rd, Sharp to 4th, and Harvick 5th.
But knocked all the way back to 8th place is Newman. Again, Larry, we see how important the draft is and trying to work with somebody. And if somebody shuts you down, it's a lot like Daytona. You lose a lot of positions in a hurry.
And Kurt Busch in that 97 car, you heard him saying the Oten, he wants to keep the lead. He wants to get those bonus points for leading the most laps.
Harvick fighting along the outside of Kinzer, trying to reach did it.
Matt Kenseth in that 17 car, he had a little brigade building up there on the high side back there about 5th or 6th, starting to line up.
Kenseth trying to draft Johnson as you ride with Matt. That's Scott Sharp, number 8, down to the inside.
The guys don't look now. Look who's running in second place. Kevin Harvick right now putting a lot of pressure. He's going to the outside right now, going into turn 3 on Kurt Busch. He's trying to make a move and take the lead.
But he don't have a lot of help up there, Jeff. These guys told us to run the high side, you almost need someone pushing you in this draft.
But he was able to beat him back to the start-finish line and lead that lap, Larry, so that's going to be important.
Harvick has been able to pass on the outside, needing only the whiff of a draft to do it.
But right now, he's getting some help, Mike. They're lining behind him a lot like Daytona. Look at Kurt Busch pull over into the side.
Look at Scott Sharp in that 8 car all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. He gains 4 positions in about 100 yards over there.
3 right, almost for the lead right there. Kevin Harvick slid up in front of Jimmy Johnson and shut the door on him.
And here comes Johnson with Harvick on the outside. Past Kurt Busch.
I tell you what, a lot of guys question bringing IROC cars to Atlanta. This is about as good as Daytona.
Looking back at the field from Kevin Harvick. Matt Kenseth waving frantically for help.
Stay in line. Help me, Travis Quaffle in the 24 car. You hear him just barely rolling out of that throttle about the center of the corner, just ever so slightly.
Single file at the front. Johnson gets in Harvick's draft, trying to break away without much success.
The guy right now is battling his way back on the outside right there. It's Newman.
Harvick right now would take the million. But we've got a long way to go.
And Mike, the bad thing about it, once again, these guys do not have radios, and neither do they have calculators, so they don't have any idea where they stand. They know just got to get up front and stay there.
That's the thing to do.
You've got to get there and hang on.
12 of America's best, all racing with one thought in mind: win and let the points take care of themselves.
And don't forget that $1 million.
Another big point race on speed. Sunday, the Rolex Sports Car Series Championship race heats up. Only 3 points separate leaders Max Pappas and Scott Pruitt from Wayne Taylor. They're in Fontana, California, Sunday at 4. Only on speed. Scott Dixon will be part of that race, as he is in today's IROC event.
You mentioned Scott Dixon. Let's give him an attaboy, because he came here with no practice, faded back right at the start of that race, gave his guys a little bit of time to start racing. He filled his car out, but he's still hanging with his pack, running 11th right now. And as the race progresses, he may get a little bit more familiar and be able to make a charge back up toward the front.
Dixon, car number 1. Right there in front of Danny Lasowski.
Speaking of Danny Lasowski, how about what him and Steve Kinzer did? They were here practicing yesterday. They flew out to Fresno, California last night to race, flew back here today to race, and going to go back to Fresno, California tonight to run the World of Outlaws show there.
Wow.
Coast to coast.
We think we're tough.
No, that's dedication.
And Jason Ignore, I tell you, there's nobody that's more dedicated to running this IROC race than Danny Lasowski. He don't miss no practice or no testing.
Here's Newman with Yaley. And that turquoise number 80 squeeze play right there by J.J. Yaley.
And Newman's giving the hand wave now, boys. I want to get up there and get me some of those bonus points.
It's Travis Quaffle behind on the inside now. Quaffle goes up high. Number 24.
Newman does not have a lot of help there on the bottom. You see him lining up 4 cars on the outside.
It's for $1 million.
You need help. There is no friends. There is no teammates.
When you are the point leader, you have no friends.
You have the target on your car, too.
Castroneves alongside Newman. And moving through for 7th place.
Lift us a little bit out of the throttle as they head down the back straightaway. He's riding behind Helio Castroneves in the 03 car.
See, Elio's starting to get a little loose there.
And here's what I think's going on with Ryan Newman in that 12 car, and it's typical Atlanta. The longer you run, the more the car wants to push up off the corner, and the only thing you can do to get it out of the push is roll back out of the throttle.
And chase it up the racetrack just like he was doing. Remember, these IROC cars have 33-gallon fuel cells, so they won't take any fuel on during this race, but just like all other stock cars, as the fuel burns off, it usually transfers the weight to the front tires, and that's when you start picking the push up.
Scott Sharp, who has 2 6th-place finishes in this IROC series, trying to move on Ryan Newman. Meanwhile, at 3rd place, Roush Racing NASCAR teammates Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth are fighting for 3rd with Travis Quaffle.
Off of turn 2.
Now, Jeff, why didn't Busch slide up into that hole?
I think, begin with, he wasn't too sure whether or not he was clear. Again, we don't have the spotters. You got to use your rearview mirror, and sometimes it's hard to determine how big a hole you've got there, so rather be safe than sorry. But Matt got a real good run off of turn 2 and was able to kind of pull away from those guys and get into 3rd place clean.
And right now, Kurt Busch in the 97, the purple car, he's hung on the bottom. He's starting to get freight trained.
Because that's the one thing that every other driver knows in this race is who the point leaders are.
If you notice right now, as of now, Ryan Newman is 12 points behind the points leader, Kevin Harvick. And this is as they're running on the racetrack right now, still with a long way to go.
Harvick's led the most laps. Kurt Busch and Steve Kinzer have also led. 20 complete this time by. If we stay caution-free, we'll have a competition yellow at lap 45 as Castroneves goes bottom fishing in the quad oval.
And Jeff, Elio told us at the drivers' meeting, every lap he runs around this racetrack, he's never competed here, he learns something else, especially about the draft here.
He really does, and the biggest thing also about Elio Castroneves, he did every bit of that explaining with the biggest smile on his face, because I love this kind of racing. I'm a race car driver. I know these guys from NASCAR are going to kick my butt, as he'd say, but I'm not going to quit. I'm going to have fun, and he's giving it a pretty good whirl right now.
He's in 8th place right now. And Kurt Busch has fallen to 9th behind him. There's the man who came into this race with the point lead, Ryan Newman, who presently runs in 7th. Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, all contenders for the $1 million. They are the 3 front runners ahead of Castroneves, Quaffle, and Yaley. Sharp, Newman, and Busch, Kinzer, Dixon, and Lasowski. 24 of 65 laps complete. As they come around this time, 20 laps to the competition yellow, which will include a full pit stop.
And right now it looks like they're somewhat single file, not for long, but these guys are starting to search around at a line that their car likes, whether it likes to run the bottom. You see Matt Kenseth about 2/3 of the way up the racetrack. You see Kurt Busch up the top. They're searching right now because they're kind of got strung out where your car likes to run.
Jeff, if you stay high on this racetrack, can you use up less of your tires?
Yes, you can. I mean, that's the key. If you can get up there on the top side, let the car kind of roll around the top of this racetrack, you have to turn the wheel less. Again, working those tires, saving them. And I think for a lot of these drivers who already realize, I can't get to the front real easy. Let me see if I can sit here and pace myself, and maybe with 10 laps to go before that competition yellow, make a run to the front.
Because they do know, unlike the other races this year, at that competition yellow, each car is going to receive 4 fresh tires, and that'll be so exciting for that 20-lap shootout.
And you need to be close to the front so you can take advantage of those 4 fresh tires.
We have yet to run a complete lap single file. For the last 2 times, they've been single file through 3 and 4. Oh, trouble!
J.J. Yaley, I believe.
Yeah, came off the wall into Castroneves.
Caution is out.
Who saves it off the outside wall. That is just miraculous car control by Castroneves to keep that car from rocketing back to the outside wall.
Now, just like in NASCAR, the field is frozen. They do not race back, and in fact, caution laps do not count.
You can expect both these cars to come down on pit road and have the Crown Royal pit crew basically go to work on them to see how much damage each one of these cars have. Both of them look relatively unscathed considering the damage. I think JJ has definitely got a flat tire, but it doesn't look that bad.
It looked like he came down into Castroneves, but did he contact the outside wall first? Let's see.
Yes.
He just ran out of racetrack. That car had that push coming off the corner, and he couldn't keep it off the wall. He bounces off the wall down into Castroneves, the red car.
And as we said earlier, Helio done an excellent job of keeping that car down off the racetrack, keep it coming back up in front of a lot of other race cars.
Wheel spinning, a quick lock it up.
Here's a look from Ryan Newman, our points leader coming into this event. Kind of drove right through it. Hear him roll out of it as the caution comes out.
Helio Castroneves, after a bit of agricultural racing through the quad oval here at Atlanta.
Crew's checking over the damage mic to see if anything's really messed up that bad on the car. If he
Yeah, there's
a
lot of grass in there, Jeff. So America's fastest lawnmower rolls through the grass, and it looks like both those drivers will get back into the competition. Double file restart after 25 complete green flag laps. Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, Travis Kvapil. Then it'll be Scott Sharp, Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch, Steve Kinzer, Scott Dixon, Danny Lasowski. In the garage area, J.J. Yaley and Helio Castroneves. There were 12, now there are 10 as they look for the green flag to restart.
And all restarts in IROC are double file restart, 5 rows, 10 cars. See those 3 cars on the top side, they didn't stay nose to tail long. 3 wide back there for 3rd place.
Kenseth on the bottom. Jimmy Johnson trying to move through on the outside to the lead.
With these cars having a 390 carburetor on them, not a restrictor plate, it almost takes them a full lap to get up to speed.
Looks like Harvick was able to push his way back out front. Now slides back up in front of Jimmy Johnson. They come back to the start-finish line.
Newman shoving Kenseth down the straightaway.
Matt says, well, I got an opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and go to the outside and see if I can make a pass.
Jeff, you can hear these cars on our onboard cameras and audio system bottoming out.
Kenseth in second place and kicked Jimmy Johnson back to 4th.
And he's hoping he can get some help on that high side, but Harvick gets a good run on the bottom. His car really comes off the corner good, and they're 3 wide back there for 3rd place.
Jimmy Johnson kicked back to maybe 5th. Scott Sharp in the middle. Newman up top. And Newman has help from Kurt Busch. Well, you can call it help. It's early.
Not for long.
No.
Whoa.
Who got really loose there? I think that was Kurt Busch.
In a 97 car, it was, and he just squeezed up in there. Somebody was good enough to lift and let him up in there as he got loose.
Larry, are you sure he got loose, or was it a little bit like what J.J. Yaley was alluding to? Did the car get that push from another guy being beside him? He had to kind of squeeze out of it and slide up to keep from hitting anybody.
Kurt Busch fell all the way back to 8th with that slide. Any loss of momentum here is crucial.
Kevin Harvick has now led 22 laps. If he can lead about 13 more laps, he will lock up those 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. And that could be very critical, especially since he came in here 4th in the points.
These standings reflect those bonus points as of right now. Newman, though, getting closer. Now just 5 points back of Harvick.
See Scott Sharp in the 8 car behind Jimmy Johnson. They're starting to gang up on Ryan Newman and Matt Kenseth. They're 2 by 2 behind our leader, Kevin Harvick. We just talked about that. Kevin Harvick now has led 23 of these 29 laps.
If he leads 7 more, Larry, he's clinched it.
And Larry, we saw that at Richmond whenever Matt Kenseth was able to basically dominate that race, get all the bonus points that you could get, and win the race. And I mean, that's the way he gained so much of the points and put himself in a position to possibly win this championship one more time.
Well, Harvick came in here 7 points behind. Newman has not led, so that's 5 of those 7 points he's trying to lock up. See Jimmy Johnson in the blue 48 car there on the bottom. Not a lot of help right now as Ryan Newman in the 12 has moved up to the high side behind Matt Kenseth.
Just remember, though, Just 2 laps ago, he'd been bumped almost all the way back to 8. He fought his way back up again.
It was Kurt Busch
on the bottom side.
Again, got shot out of that pack to the inside to make a little racing room. Again, no spotters to help these drivers with when they are clear of traffic.
And we talk, they don't have spotters. They do have radios, but it's only to tell the pits that they have maybe a problem with their car, a flat or temperature, and then race control can talk to the drivers to tell them about a caution.
Watch 97, top of your screen, Kurt Busch. He's had a busy day. Whoa. That was off of Newman.
Yeah, Newman came off the wall almost and then shot down into Kurt Busch, and he had to turn left in a hurry.
And we've been able to watch Ryan Newman's car a lot. The insides again. We're going back, looking at the back bumper cam, back toward the 97 and the 12 car. But both Ryan Newman as well as Kurt Busch's car look like they've gotten more of a push than later in this run they've gone.
But I think Ryan Newman has figured out Kurt Busch's car is actually a little bit loose, and he may use that to his advantage. I watched him a while ago run up on the rear bumper of Kurt Busch, takes that rear downforce away and gets him even looser.
Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick is disappearing off into the sunset.
And that's exactly what Danny Lasowski and Steve Kinzer told us. If guys get back there racing too much and don't really work together, what's going to happen? The guy out front is going to check out.
And we know in about 12 laps we will get that competition caution. All these drivers know, these 10 drivers know, they will at least get 4 fresh tires. No other adjustments on the car.
If things stay the same, Harvick gets the bonus for leading at that caution, but look at this fight for second and third. There's points involved there at the competition yellow.
Yeah, whoever's running second gets 2 points. Whoever's running third gets 1 point.
And when you finish 4th, you don't get nothing.
Get ready for the next 20 laps.
Exactly.
If Kevin Harvick leads 2 more laps, he will clinch the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. Scott Sharp coming alongside Jimmy Johnson and bringing Ryan Newman up into that battle for second place on back. They are 1 second behind Kevin Harvick, and that's as good as a mile right now. Round 4 at Crown Royal IROC 28. Kevin Harvick has a 1 second lead, as much as he did when we left, and he has now locked up the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. Matt Kenseth is second. Last year's IROC champion Kurt Busch in third, Jimmy Johnson fourth, Travis Quaffle fifth, and Ryan Newman just took 6th away from Scott Sharp. We're coming up on the competition yellow, the battles for second place, and it's a good one.
Kurt Busch in the 97 car on the outside, Matt Kenseth in the 17 on the bottom, but Busch has help from Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car. And I think the key to Harvick locking up those bonus points is right now the 3 guys in front of him in points, Johnson, Kenseth, and Newman, they've not even led a lap yet.
Kurt Busch and Steve Kinzer, the only other leaders of this race besides the 2002 IROC champion, Kevin Harvick.
And the reason this fight for second is so important, just remember, in 2 laps, whoever's running second will get 2 bonus points. Whoever's running third will get 1. So that's the reason those guys are going at it so hard here when they come around with 1 lap to go before lap 45.
Lap 45, competition yellow. Everyone will get 4 tires and a check of their car, and then they'll go back out and battle for the final 20 laps of this Crown Royal IROC season.
If Matt Kenseth can hold off for about another 3/4 of a lap as Kurt Busch in the 97 gets a pretty good run on him off turn 2. Remember, he came in only 4 points behind Ryan Newman.
Look at right on the nose of Busch's car. He's worn all the paint off the prow of that Crown Royal IROC racer. Right under the S.
See
That's
right
the bump
there,
zone.
Matt Kenseth knows the best thing he can do is protect that bottom. Don't let him get a run on the bottom. They'll complete lap 45 right now.
Kenseth second, Busch third. They get the bonus. The last car comes through, and now we'll see the competition yellow flag as the field gets sorted out.
See Kurt Busch rubbing a little more paint off that nose.
There's the caution. So everyone will come to pit road, and they'll get 4 fresh, but not quite new tires.
They're 4-lap scuffs. They have been run during the week. So right now, Kevin Harvick not only will, we talked about it in the opening, he gets the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, he gets 3 bonus points for leading the competition caution flag. Matt Kenseth will get 2 points, and Kurt Busch will get 1 point. So Harvick maxed out the bonus points.
There you see the tires. The crews are getting them lined up so they can put them on the cars. And Mike, one other thing, when they come down pit road, they will clean the grills off, and they'll also pull a windshield tab off so they have to be able to clear the windshield, so the guys will have clean windshields for the final run.
So here's how we stand with $1 million in the balance. Kevin Harvick up 7 points on Matt Kenseth, up 13 points on Ryan Newman, thanks in main part to the bonus points earned for leading laps and running position at the competition yellow. 20 laps to go in Crown Royal IROC 28. Speed Channel coverage of the Crown Royal IROC Series finale from Atlanta is presented by Crown Royal. Be a champion. Drink responsibly. 20 laps to go in front of a nice Saturday afternoon crowd here in Atlanta. Right this moment, with the bonus for leading the most laps, Kevin Harvick is the point leader. Matt Kenseth is 7 back. Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson, and Kurt Busch all have a chance as we finish up the competition yellow and get ready to race for the final 20.
A unique restart format now here is Kevin Harvick is in a row by himself on the front row, and then it's Matt Kenseth chose to go to the bottom, so Kevin Harvick's out there by himself and gets a great restart here with 20 laps to go.
It looks like Kurt Busch got a little bit of a push right there, and he's going to jump into second place as we go off into turn 2.
That's Jimmy Johnson on the high side with Busch. Matt Kenseth working the bottom.
And you pretty much know what all these guys know behind Kevin Harvick. If you can get out front, you maybe can stay there, as Matt Kenseth is all over the rear bumper of Kevin Harvick here down the back stretch.
You got to take advantage of it now while those tires are fresh. And guys, I hate to bring this up, but you never know. You may get a set of tires that your car doesn't like.
Kurt Busch to the inside of Kenseth for second.
He got a heck of a run off turn 4, but Kevin Harvick goes to the bottom, shuts the door on him in 1 and 2.
Larry, you notice already with the 4 fresh tires, the cars are back down to the bottom of the racetrack, hugging that white line a lot more than they were late in that run.
And again, no matter what your car was doing, no adjustments, just the 4 tires.
As we like to say, my friend, shut up and drive.
You got what you got.
Jimmy Johnson falls back into the clutches of Travis Quaffle, and behind Quaffle, the Rocket, Ryan Newman, alongside Scott Sharp.
And Ryan Newman, we're riding with him here. He knows if he ever has a chance at winning this championship, he's got to get up there and try to lead a lap. He's got to get up there and try to finish right up there near the front.
Harvick has clinched the bonus for leading the most laps. The second most lap leader today is Kurt Busch. He's only led 5 laps. If someone else can break to the front, they can claim the 3 bonus points for leading the second most laps.
Scott Sharp doing some bump drafting of his own right there. And he's hooked up behind Jimmy Johnson. And whoa, got him loose. Down in that corner. Jimmy's waving at him as he went off in turn 1, saying, "Get off of me, buddy."
Right now, we ride with Kevin Harvick, the lead car, looking back at the rest. He's driving defensively right now. I guarantee he is wearing that mirror out right now.
And he's loving what he sees, which is 2 cars behind him, side by side.
And these guys have seen all week in practice, side by side. You see them getting smaller and smaller back there.
Kenseth is trying, but just can't break out of that pack to try and reel in Harvick. But the aero packages on these cars, note the wicker bills and the air fences. Those are designed so that each car pokes a big hole in the wind so the pack can draft back up on it, and that's just what's happening.
I love this package. Lots of drag and lots of down.
Oh, trouble, Quaffle! He saves it.
He saved it. How he ever saved it, and they did not lose that much ground to the lead pack. That moves Ryan Newman in the 12 car there. The leader of this pack there he's up to 4th. And Travis Quaffle is up there battling for 5th after being on the apron in turn 3.
Every now and then being young doesn't hurt, does it, Larry?
He knew there's only 15 laps to go.
I'm reminded of a great line from Buddy Baker. He started that wreck, he just didn't finish it.
That's it.
We're back up front right now. Kevin Harvick, when that group was all together, was working the back and forth from high side to low side, a lot like what you see the guys do in a place like Daytona or Talladega, trying to work the inside line back to the outside line, not trying to let either one of them get a run on it.
But that's what I like about this aero package, Mike. What allowed Travis Quaffle not to spin out was all the downforce on these cars. That helped a bunch.
Crunch time coming in Atlanta. 14 laps to go, $1 million in the balance. Matt Kenseth is there. He swaps a little paint with Kevin Harvick. He's on the outside, bringing his Roush Cup teammate Kurt Busch with him.
And Mike, did you see from inside that car right there? He was motioning for Kurt Busch. Come on, man, come on, push me. Push me. But right now, Kevin Harvick, he's not giving up on the inside.
But I believe Kenseth will lead this lap. He leads a lap. Becomes our 4th leader of the day.
He can lead 5 more and keep Kurt Busch behind him. Then that's a 3-point bonus.
And remember, Matt Kenseth came in here only 4 points behind Ryan Newman in 2nd.
Well, he's got the lead right now, but Jimmy Johnson's trying to get inside
to the apron.
Car. Whoa!
Kevin Harvick took Jimmy down to the apron.
and I don't think Jimmy Johnson, like Travis Quaffle, ever got out of the throttle.
And guys, this is not like Daytona or Talladega. That was a legal move to shove him below that line.
But with 11 laps to go, Matt Kenseth, our leader in that 17, he likes what he sees, just like Kevin Harvick saw a while ago. These guys back there side by side.
Kenseth came in here, the Richmond winner, tied for 2nd in points. And right now, he would claim the $1 million. Should nothing else change in the next 11 laps. Should nothing else change.
The winner of this race will receive 21 points, and it falls back 4 points from there back to 2nd to 17 points. 10 to go.
Now it's Harvick who needs help because Kurt Busch had Ryan Newman behind him. Now Newman makes it 3 wide.
Harvick's car is one of the few cars that seems to be able to run on the bottom and hang in there with no help behind him. He really got shuffled to the back there, though. He's been shuffled all the way back almost to 5th place.
Quaffle coming back, and a nice run for Scott Dixon. He's been right on the tail of the top half dozen and trying to move through.
And Larry, I brought it up earlier. When they came in and they changed the tires, a lot of times you never know how a set of tires is going to react from one set to the other. Kevin Harvick's car may be going the other way because these tires are not matching up as good as the ones before.
And I think Harvick's car was, well, like a lot of these cars, I mentioned it a while ago, it was good out front. It had all that air on the nose, making that car turn.
8 laps to go, this time by. Ooh, close
got
to
a good
contact.
run right there off of turn 4.
Jimmy Johnson got to run around Ryan Newman. At the stripe, Kenseth, your leader. Kurt Busch, a quarter second back. Quaffle, Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, the top 5.
Mike, these boys has really reeled Kenseth in, though, as they go through 1 and 2.
Lasowski jumps to 6th, Newman to 7th, Dixon 8th, Sharp 9th, and Kinzer 10th.
And I think what you're going to see Matt Kenseth do is just what he's doing right here, hugging that white line, hugging that bottom. Not going to open the bottom for him. Harvick's fighting his way back. He moves to the inside for 3rd place. Going up there battling Kurt Busch in the 97 for 2nd. I think Harvick maybe cooled that right front tire down. He's coming back to the front.
He definitely found some speed in the last lap and a half and made one huge move from back there about 6th place all the way back where now he's challenged for 2nd.
Now he's got Lasowski coming up to give him a little help. Drafting help, that is.
Tell you what, Lasowski, he's been hanging at the back, but here with about 6 laps to go, he's moving up to the front, our winner from Texas.
He sucked the draft off Harvick, went right to the outside, and is trying to go right on by, and does it.
Cuts it right to the bottom right there as going to 1 and 2. The dude is on the move.
Lasowski, the wire-to-wire winner in Texas, going for 2nd place.
He's trying to show us that wasn't a fluke when he got looking strong as he goes off into turn 3, side by side.
They'll be coming to the stripe this time. 5 laps to go. $1 million on the line.
And Mike, we haven't said a lot about it, but there's some guys right now that are kind of like spoilers. Travis Quaffle, Danny Lasowski, they can really affect the way these points are going to kind of shake out, and it could really, have a big impact on who's going to win this $1 million.
2 wide and 3 wide. That's just what Matt Kenseth wants in his mirror.
I just believe it's going to take a 3 or 4 car draft to get around Matt Kenseth right now, because he's going to go off into 3 and 4. They'll come to 4 to go, right around that white line. But they are 4 wide back there coming off turn 4.
Kenseth has just clinched the 3 points for leading the next most laps to Kevin Harvick. And that will be big in determining this champion.
Lasowski right there just took over second place and went into turn 1.
And look at Ryan Newman shut the door on that group up there to the high side in the 12 car. He's trying to get up there and battle Lasowski for second. Ryan moves solidly into third place now, about 4 or 5 car lengths behind Danny Lasowski. 3 laps to go this time.
Kenseth the leader. Lasowski, Newman to third, Busch back to fourth, Waffle, Johnson the top half dozen, then Harvick, Dixon, Kinzer, and Sharp.
Guys, don't look right now, but Daniel Lasowski has shown in that last lap he's about 3/10 quicker than Matt Kenseth, so he's probably thinking one thing: I want to win this race, and he's charging toward the front.
And he moved to the high side off turn 2, got a good run down the backstretch, because once again, Kenseth right to the bottom through 3 and 4.
If Lasowski goes through for the win, Kenseth might not be the Crown Royal IROC champion. It might fall to Harvick.
We'll know in 2 laps, 3 miles to go.
There's the gap. Newman up to second in the points. Kenseth would drop 4 if he gets past for first.
Who would ever believed it? 4 races, and it's going to come down to the last lap here at Atlanta.
Just
as it should. Comes Newman.
And he gets a good run. Side by side for second place. White flag this time.
And this could change everything. A 3-point difference from second to third. Ryan Newman held off Kurt Busch on the last lap at Daytona to win round 1. If he can catch and pass Matt Kenseth, 5-point difference there, it might change everything.
We talked about him lifting on the throttle just a little bit. I guarantee you Ryan Newman is bending that floor pan right now. Last time through 3 and 4.
Kenseth tried to break the draft, no luck. Oh, Kinzer got Newman out of shape. That's it. It's over. Kenseth is going to come through to win it.
Wow.
What a race.
I'm telling you, that was a good one. But Daniel Lasowski got in the back of Ryan Newman through the middle of 3 and 4 right there and really upset him just enough to where Matt Kenseth didn't get an opportunity to make a run on him.
On a day in which Matt Kenseth scored his 3rd Busch Series win of the season, he becomes the 21st different driver to win an IROC championship.
In his rookie season in IROC.